Well, Martin, thank you for coming on the Red Carpet Round Table.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
You're very welcome. I want to dig into what got you started in the entertainment industry.
Oh my God, that's going way back. I think most people say that, right? Like, oh, I think when I was in school, I was always into the theater. I think, I was actually thinking about this today. I think you're just born knowing those are the things that you want to do. Sometimes you can't get to them, but for me, I knew it. I was in theater. I was in the opera. I was, in high school, started being an extra, trying to just find my way into the whole industry. And that just kind of like, snowballed from there. That's when I always had that in me. Even when I was young, my mom would take me to like an acting class or a modeling class or anything that I could just get my hands on to be in that, industry. So it's always been there.
Wow. And I want to dig into, I know it's on your Instagram, your hair cutting. Um, is it with the shave? Is it the shave or
Oh, you mean the ads?
yes, the
The ads. Oh,
ads.
yeah, no, I have a few ads. I mean, I have one that's actually, I think it's in Europe and it's running, it's the advertisement for that company. And there's one that's social media ads, which is for a company called, I can say the name, it's a Freebird. And you can look them up. It's for head shaving or I mean it's a shaver, but it works really well. And that's something that I do now, which is a lot of social media ads. So you'll see a lot of those, not only in that um, you know, with shaving, but with medicines, with everything. I do pretty much whatever.
Well, the reason I brought that up because you're doing, it looks like you're having fun.
Yeah, that's kind of like the directive, like how they tell you that it's direction because it's a little bit different because you're doing social media ads, so you're doing them at home. So you're not really on a set with a director, as a regular TV commercial would be. So they do give you some creative direction and tell you, okay, here, make it your own, or we want this to be kind of fun and crazy and wacky, or we want it to be serious. So you'll see a variety of that.
Well, you're doing amazing. I just want to bring
Thank
that
you.
up. Sorry.
Appreciate it.
Um, Now I want to dig into what is your upcoming projects, if you're allowed to talk about them.
I well, yeah, I just finished last week my fifth TV commercial. I think that's like everybody has, I guess, a niche or like a place where you kind of like fit and belong. For me, I'm open to anything, but I do have kids. I do have another part of my life other than the acting that I need to, also be present for. So I
Hmm.
can't always be on a set. I can't always, I see movies or things script that I'm, applying for in the platforms, and I'm like, I can't quite commit to that. Commercials for me, TV commercials, training videos, industrials, infomercials, social media ads. They're shorter in time of commitment. And
Hmm.
so I kind of like just dive head on into that instead
Okay.
of focusing on the other. And I think it's just that's where I am right now in my
Hmm.
life as an actor. I'm doing that, which I'm enjoying. And then eventually it'll, go into
Eventually
more of
move
a,
up.
okay, I can do a movie or whatever. And it's fine, it's good. I can still make some time to go on set. Like I said, I just did a TV commercial. That was my fifth one. And right now I just have tons of social media ads that I plan out. And I have fun. I can do them either in my house or somewhere nearby. And so I don't have to dedicate that much time to that. And it's,
Okay.
as you can see, they're running all over,
Hmm. Right.
Yeah.
I want to ask this question because I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are going to be listening to this or watching this,
Yeah.
what is your advice to help them that they're going to be saying, "Hey, I want to do what Martin's doing. I want to do social media ads." So what's your advice to help them out?
I think I mean, I've had friends actually seen my ads. I mean, I did have like a corporate job before this. I recently retired and, they would see the ads because we follow each other on social media. And they're like, well, how did you get into that? And I said, well, I mean, it comes from a long, you know, I've always been in this industry, but now because we are where we are, things have changed
Hmm.
and things have shifted from TV commercials, which are still important, obviously, but there's so many social media ads because people are always scrolling. So but it still works, really the same way, basically. You should have a profile on one of the platforms that actors use. Most actors know all these, Backstage, Casting Network, whatever, have a platform on that, a profile on that, and get some pictures. I mean, I have friends who have just taken a couple of snapshots of themselves in a nice background, plain, and of course, most go the professional way and get headshots. But whatever it is that you can do at that moment, and they started with just that, a picture. They film themselves making a video, advertising whatever it is that you are good at, and post it on there as part of your portfolio. And soon you'll apply for jobs, and that will lead to another, and then somebody will see it and they'll call you. And it's really, but the gist of it is really the same. Get a
Hmm.
picture, get on a platform, and look for jobs like you would for any other job in
That's a
life,
good advice. Very good advice. I want to talk about audition. And I know the reason I'm bringing this up is a audition. You can correct me. It seems like it's not going away, but the person in-person audition is going away. It seems like a lot of people. I think a lot of older generation. Um, you know, they like in person. They like to go there and they like to show their impression, their appearance. This is how I am. This is how I act.
Yeah.
And a lot of younger generation, they like Zoom. Now, some actors, maybe older, they like Zoom as well because, for example, if you're in, like you are in the East Coast and they're like, hey, we want you to audition for something in LA. And you're like, oh, I need to book a plane ticket? Oh, no, I can do it on Zoom. So you can just
Yeah.
come home, sit out here, like do Zoom. So in your personal opinion, what do you think is good? You think it's good that it's kind of trending that way to Zoom, or do you think it's not a good idea and they should keep doing both?
Well, I'll tell you, coming from, because you mentioned old school, I am old school because I
Sorry,
started this
sorry.
20 something years ago when there was no real social media or
Hmm.
anything like that. So auditions were strictly in person and I had to do those. So I know both. And then fast forward a little bit of like also before I answer that question, I started 20 years ago doing acting, but then I took like a 20-year hiatus. I did it for a
Hmm.
few years. I traveled the world and then now I recently started and I started a little bit post COVID. And you know that during COVID, unfortunately, everything was,
Hmm.
virtual.
Hmm.
And I think that that shifted the market and the auditions and the way we do auditions to a strictly virtual, platform where everything I do now is virtual to the point that the other day an agent that I have sent me on a in-person audition, and I felt like I was auditioning for the very first time in my life. Only because there were so many people and you were in front of other people, which we're used to because hey, you're an actor, you should be used to being in front of people. But it's different once you're on the job, on the set, and actually doing what you're supposed to do. You've memorized your lines, you're in the zone, and everybody's there is doing what they're supposed to be versus being in a room just with a bunch of strangers all auditioning for the same role. It's still nerve-wracking. And so for me as an old school kind of actor, I prefer the new way. I think because we've all gotten so used to it. And I think it also gives you obviously the upper hand where
Hmm.
you can do it 10, 20 times, as many times as you need to until you get it right or you feel that that is your best performance. And then you
Okay.
can submit that. Because once you're in
Hmm.
person, you have that one shot, maybe
Right.
two, they let you do it again, and then you're done. So first impression. This way, you know, I do auditions all the time and you just set it up, you have your blue screen, you do it a couple times and then you look at all of them and say, okay, this is the one I want. And you send it and then hope for the best. But it's easier. It's less
Hmm.
stressful, I think, on your, psyche.
Well, the reason I asked that, and that's a good point, everything you said, because I had to ask that because, a lot of people have both opinions on it in the
Yeah.
entertainment industry. You have like you said, and you're not old, by the way, but the older,
Thank you.
you're welcome. The older generation, they like in person because they're like, hey, I'm just going to show what I am, and that's it. But like
Yeah.
you said, you have now this is you can do 4 or 5 times and just send a tape in. I personally
Yeah.
believe I agree with you because if you're on the go or you're traveling or you're away from location, and I think it's also saving money because meaning yourself. You don't have to spend money and like, okay, let me go to Atlanta, let me go to New York, let me
Exactly.
go to LA and or Hawaii or something like that too do audition. So it's 100% you're right. I mean, it's just send tapes in. You can do 4 or 5 times, and I think that's
Yeah,
great.
exactly. That's why I think it saves money on both sides. Like you bring that, that's a
Hmm.
good point because I see auditions all the time in LA, in Atlanta, anywhere, and how are you going to get there on a moment's notice to audition when you can just send a tape in and they can see
Yeah.
the same thing, and
And
same thing for the company. They're saving taking you out there if they, and most of them wouldn't pay for you to go audition, but if they did, that would be a waste of money if you end up not getting cast, on both ends. So yeah, I think it's great. Virtual is and I think it's here to stay.
Yes, and I think also real quick is helping the younger generation who are
Yeah.
now who are in high school, or in
Mhm.
college. That helps them save money. They're like
Totally.
they don't have to like panic. I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I want to do this audition in LA, but I can't afford to fly there. I want to do here. I want to do there. But now Zoom, and it's like, okay, I can send it in, get it over with. I'm done, like you said. So
Yeah. It's I
100%.
yeah, I think it does. Yeah, I mean, you hear the stories of people and you still hear it. It's like that traditional story of like, oh, I want to be an actor, so I'm in LA and I'm working in a restaurant and I'm a waiter and I'm just, then I go on auditions all morning. I don't sleep at all because I'm going from my job, just, and so now you can actually do what you need to do to make money to
Hmm.
support yourself in the meantime until you get your break. But you can just go home and do a whole bunch of auditions from your house and then get some rest and go, it's I think it's easier logistically, just easier
Wow.
management.
You said it right there on point. Right
Yeah.
there. 100%. 100%. Hope and it's funny but serious because it's like you're saying is the facts. And I agree with you. Hope it stays this way. I think it will. And I don't think in-person audition is going to go away. I think it's going to both are going to stay. And I think there's pros and cons from both of them. So I totally.
I think so. I was just on a podcast the other day with someone in Canada, and we were talking about one of the questions was like, "Oh, so how do you feel as an actor about AI?" Which kind of goes hand in hand with like this virtual audition. It's like
Hmm.
going towards that. That's the future. And it was like, oh, well, that's kind of like, yeah, I don't like, AI as an actor, like, oh, they're gonna replace and have a whole cast in a movie just as AI. And I thought, well, I don't think it's there yet. I don't think that we're going, but
Right.
we are towards a more futuristic approach to things, which, like you just said, has good and bad. And I
Hmm.
think whether it's AI or whether it's virtual auditions, like you said, it has its good and it has its bad because some people love being in person. But, you just gotta go with the flow, I guess.
Right. 100%. I want to talk about this because you're a parent. And a lot of parents are probably going through this probably on maybe every day. A lot of kids, younger, 6 years old till maybe before they're in middle school, maybe middle
Mhm.
school kids too, they want to get into the entertainment industry. And you're, as a parent who's also an actor, or any parents who are not an actor, what is your advice? What would you say?
I mean, I think it's great. I just, I know from both sides friends who tell me, "Oh, don't let your kid be in that industry," because I'm like, and I'm thinking, well, hey, I'm in that industry, so and I'm perfectly fine. They think that you're going to go in the wrong direction, or I think it is what you make of it. We're all
Hmm.
individuals. We all have our own personalities, and we know what's right and wrong. So being in this or any other industry isn't going to, shift who you are as far as your morals and your values. So you can still be an actor, and I think it's great to let kids express themselves. In my situation, I have a 7-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter. My 3-year-old, she is a total diva. She wants to be in front of the camera. She's already filmed 3 commercials with me for social media, and
Hmm.
she loves it. My son, he'll hide and he'll say, "No, I don't want to do it, and I don't want to be in that." And now he's coming around and saying, "Hey, are we going to do another commercial together?" So I get them involved as much as I can, to the point however much they can take, because I also don't want to be on the other extreme where these parents that are like the stage moms or
Hmm.
stage that they want to push them. I noticed recently I was doing a commercial for a social media ad for like a gummy vitamins for kids, and so of course I had my kids in them, and it was a little bit more demanding than I thought once you get into it, because there's a lot of scenes that you need to film with them, and they were getting tired. You could tell they were like already like, I don't want to do this, and so I said, let's take a break and we'll come back later. You don't want to push them, but
Hmm.
you want to encourage them. There's a line, a fine line, and it's the same with whether it's sports or anything that they do. You don't want to push them to be like, do it whether you want to or not. But you also don't want to let them just give up, because they tend to give up easily because it's just easier. So there's that line you
It's like a
walk. I
roller
do want them
coaster.
to, yeah, it's a roller coaster. And I love that they're in it with me because I enjoy it. And it also allows me to, it's quality time that I'm spending with them. If they like it, we can do something together that's fun, and
Hmm.
that could actually turn into a job, a career later on for one of them
Hmm.
if they choose
Very
that. So
true. And your
yeah. So it's a
daughter
good
may
thing.
become an actress. I mean,
Who
she
knows?
is, but I mean,
Yeah, she is. She is. And she's good. Her facial expressions. I'm like, oh my God. We all look at it and we're like, you're good. You're like, she loves doing all that, which is great. I love it.
hey, you never know. She could be like where you are in the future.
Yeah, or even more. Sky's the
Right,
limit. Yeah, who
right. The
knows?
sky is the limit.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask this question. Who would you be your favorite? I don't want to say favorite because a lot of people give me a hard time about this, but who is your, I'm gonna just say it. Who's your favorite actor or actress you want to be on set with?
Oh, on set. Oh my goodness. There's just if I have to pick one, it's
Okay,
hard. I
we'll do
think
we'll
I
do three. We'll do three.
okay, so three. I think I love Meryl Streep.
Okay.
I love Meryl Streep. I even told this to the last person that I spoke to on a podcast. I should have been Stanley Tucci on The Devil Wears Prada. It's like I have a shaved head. I could have done that. I love fashion. I love Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway, but yeah, Meryl Streep definitely love her. I love Dame Judi Dench.
Okay.
It's just like it's she's amazing. I mean,
Hmm.
and one and I like very old school. I love Maggie Smith, which
Really?
makes you rest in peace. I mean Downton Abbey and Harry Potter. I mean everything that she does, even her old movies that I start digging into and finding out like I never knew they
Hmm.
were in that movie, that film. And so I'm old school in that way. I there's a lot of new actors that I also love, but it's just the list is so long that those are the ones that come right to my,
I know that's why I
you
can't
know,
say favorite, but it's hard,
one
right?
of.
Mary Streep, by the way, she is amazing.
She's amazing. She's so multi-talented. She could just play any role. It's such
To
vast,
be honest,
you know.
when I was watching her, oh, what movie was it? I don't remember. Anyways, I just didn't know she could sing. And I'm watching it, and she was singing, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like,
She was
oh,
Into the Woods, and she was
yes,
singing on that. So
yeah. And
yeah,
I was like, she can sing. I was
yes,
like, and dance and sing at the same time. I was like,
so
wait,
much range. It's like, but yeah, like they can act, but then you see them singing, you're like, I never knew you. I've never seen you singing in a
right.
film, and like, wow, where did that come from? It's like
Right. It's like,
it's
wait a minute.
amazing.
Did you really sing? That's
Yeah,
really, really, I like her so much.
she's great. Yeah, she's up there.
Yes. What was the most pivotal moment in your life so far?
Like most important, was it acting in the acting world? You mean just
Yes, acting and not too personal, but maybe something happened in your life as
well, I
well.
mean, definitely, I think it doesn't sound cliche, but people say this is my children. I mean, they have to
Mhm.
be that was the most important thing that's happened to me, and they bring me so much joy, and now I get to do so many amazing things with them, and I that's above everything else. But as far as acting, I think that I was pleasantly surprised and just it was such an important moment for me to come back to do this that I love after so many years. It was 20 something years that I just did absolutely nothing. It was my career and my corporate job and traveling, which is great, but it was always in the back of my mind, this is what I want to do. And now that I'm retired from my corporate job, I just said I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And I've been pleasantly surprised that I've been so well received because I thought somebody who's older, there's not as many chances or opportunities versus me back then when I was 18 and 19. And I'm just like, that was a moment when I realized, wow, like I can do this. That was amazing. I booked this and then that. And not just social media, but the TV and the commercials, the shows. And I was busier than I was when I was 18. I was so shy and just thinking I can't do this. And now it's like, amazing. That just really made me like, wow.
Wow, amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, your kids are always kids
Yes.
are always important. That's the most
Yes.
pivoted in their life, and again, I'm so happy for you and your kids,
Thank you.
and I mean, I'm really glad they're experiencing the entertainment industry. They are already knowing what's it's like, and like you said, they can decide in the future if they want to continue this. And so I just
Yeah, for
wanted to say
sure.
that.
Yeah. And we haven't even dug into like acting classes for them. Or I mean, my daughter's 3, so she's, smaller. But I can see that she does ballet, she does dance, and I can see that she loves all that, whether it's acting, dancing, she's in that, she's
So
in
she's
this in her
already
zone.
she's already experiencing it.
She is. She's living it, and like, so hopefully she'll like it. And as she gets older, if she wants to, and I will
Hmm.
definitely encourage it, take acting classes. And I have her headshots already. I send them to my agent so she could like see if she gets jobs, and we'll see what happens. And I'm always gonna be there for her, and or my son as well if he decides that he wants to do that. I think it's
Wow.
amazing.
I need to ask, I'm going to ask this question, deep, hopefully not too emotional, but who is anybody who deeply impacted you or gave you a best advice you ever received?
Advice. I have to say, I think just my mom. My mom and I are very close. In the beginning, my dad was, he was away and yeah, for the first few years of my life until we could get reunited. And so I was always with my mom as a child. I was always with her. And even when I started, when I was 18 and I wanted to try modeling and I wanted to try acting and I wanted to try, my mom was always, my dad being the macho man. And he was like, oh, that's not, something that you should be doing. And my mom was like, no, he's going to do whatever he wants to do, whatever he's good at, whatever makes him happy. And if he doesn't succeed in
Hmm.
that, then he'll try something else. And she just, she's always been there for me, always told me not to give up, always encouraged me to do whatever it is that I want, as long as it fulfills me, makes me happy. So, and that's the best advice that I think you can, give. And I tell my kids, do what you love. Don't give up so easily. Try a little bit because it can be hard at the beginning. So you can't just give up. If you try it and you give it a good chance and you see that it's not for you, then you can move on to something else. But always try and just be happy. Life is too short to be stuck doing things that don't bring you joy. So getting to do something that I love and getting paid for it is, I mean, you can't go wrong with that combination.
Hmm.
You're doing what you love, and anything else is gravy.
Right, 100%.
Yeah,
Wow, everything you're saying is the truth. We gotta
yeah,
love what you're doing, enjoy the moment,
yes,
enjoy
yes.
the moment because we only live once.
Definitely.
Right,
There
we
was
only live.
just, you really need to. Life is
Hmm.
short, and you hear people that are stuck in just doing things that they don't want, and then they change, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, I can't believe I waited that long to make that
Hmm.
change. I'm so happy right now." So you got to try it out.
That's true. Got to do it now. Excuse me. What would you tell yourself at age 7?
Like now telling wow, okay. Well, the other day I was thinking about what I would tell myself when I was 18 and 19 starting this. So I guess I'll go a little bit further back, but I think the advice would be the same. I would tell that little kid not to be shy, not to sit in the back quietly, because as a kid, I was a single child. I was always like very protected and shielded. So I was always kind of scared to make that, to go make the friend or to be the first one to say something. And that kind of goes throughout your life into your career and, where you'll be sitting in the back and you kind of want to be picked, but you're afraid to kind of, so you just sit there and hope they'll pick you. So just don't be shy. Just do, I realize that now that if you like me or you don't. I mean, I can only be who I am, so I can't change, you know. So don't be worried about what other people are gonna, think if you're too loud, too quiet. Just go, do what you gotta do the best that you can. Be nice, because I always tell everybody, be nice. Don't be mean. We don't need more divas. Like, just be gracious, grateful, which I am. Do what you love, and just give it your best shot. And don't
Hmm.
be shy. Don't stand in the back waiting for somebody to like go through everybody else to pick you out, because
Right.
that'll never work. Stand in the, go to the front of the
Be
line.
yourself
Be yourself. Yeah.
and be kind to
And
one another.
be kind, be yourself. And if you can, don't
Mhm.
sit in the back of the class. Sit in the front so they can see you and they can pick you.
I had the same struggle as you. I would not sit in the front.
No, me, yeah.
It's embarrassing. I agree with you because if you sit in the front and the teacher's like talking, excuse me, and they're like, okay, who knows the answer? And they're like, oh, I'm gonna point at you. Do you know the answer? And you're like, no. Everybody
Yeah.
looks at you like, uh-oh. I was like, what do you
It's
mean? Uh-oh. I mean, see.
Yeah, but you know what? It's funny I say that because it's true. We did the same, but later on I found out, and this is from teachers' perspective, they would tell you, "Oh, I'm gonna pick you if you sit in the back." And I'm gonna make you because I know that most of the ones that are in the front, it's because they know and they want to be picked. The ones in the back are the ones that are hiding. So I'm gonna go through and get you and kind of like, And then I thought, well, this didn't work out too well. I'm like, it's the opposite effect of what we were trying to do.
But
But
sometimes it's opposite. It's like if you sit in the back, they get the one in the front. So
it's true. You never know. You never know. So just in the front in case and just whatever comes, comes.
you're right. I totally agree. I did not like sitting in the front.
I
Oh,
know. I know. I know.
I mean, and then if you come a little late, like before the bell rings, every seat's taken except the front,
Except
one
the
front
front.
seat. And so it's
Yeah,
like,
it's
I'll sit
true.
there,
It's
right? So it's
psychological. You
like,
just have to be like, ah,
so you're sitting there whole entire class is like, please don't call me, please don't
please
call
don't
my name,
pick me.
please don't
Please
call.
don't pick me.
And then when
I
the bell
know.
rings, you're like, yes, I'm free.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I can't, yeah, I know. It works that way, unfortunately, but
Right, it is. It's an interesting. Um, what's your favorite genre? Your dream role you want to act in, TV show or film?
I like, I don't know, that's a hard question because I like both, and I'm so open to anything. I love films. I get this sense that TV roles are maybe films just because you have a more of an opportunity to play different characters. I
Mm-hmm,
see
mm-hmm.
shows where, and I mean, not that I wouldn't, turn on a show if I got on a show like, hey, Friends or Big Bang, or you see these shows that run for 7, 8, 10 years, and that's like a big chunk of your life. So these people become your family. And so I guess it's a different, experience than like going from film to film to film. But I think probably just film only because of that, because I think you'd be able to play something different every time as opposed to just being the same character over and over for 10, 15 years. I mean, they're both great, but if I had to pick one, I think that would be it.
Oh,
I think
wow,
film it just gives you more of an opportunity to, you know. I mean,
expand.
at the end of the day, I figured that's what actors are about. What they want is to explore different characters and dive deep into a different persona other than yourself, and films give you that chance.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
Yeah.
100% true. Is there any TV shows or film that you recommend to the audience that they should see?
I can kind of tell you now, from what I'm watching. I'm watching something called Sandman,
Okay.
which is really it's very sci-fi, and I don't have one thing. I go from sci-fi to now I'm watching The Gilded Age, which is like really that old soul coming out of me. I love that whole Bridgerton Gilded Age kind of feel, like looking at the old, costumes. I think the costumes are amazing, and just the way so those two are shows that I guess I can, and there's one more called Foundations, again, sci-fi. So I think it goes like
Isn't
this,
that on Apple TV?
yes, it's on Apple TV and it's with great actors. I mean, it's sci-fi, but it's just I think sometimes it goes deeper than that. It's kind of like Star
Hmm.
Trek, where yeah, it's sci-fi, but it's not really about just being a sci-fi show. It goes into exploring people's relationships, and
Yes.
it's political, it's emotional, it's psychological. It's about humanity and how we react to meeting other species. So it
Hmm.
goes further than that. So I think
I've started watching Foundation. It's good, and I totally
it's
agree
really
with
good.
you.
Yeah,
And
the new season just came out.
yes, I haven't reached there yet, but I've seen it. I've seen the
Yeah.
trailer. I've also watched Silo.
Oh, Silo's amazing. I can't wait for that to come back. I am dying for that to
Did you
come
watch
back.
the whole thing?
I the whole thing till the end.
Okay,
I
no
was
no
like, wow.
spoilers, no
No spoilers.
spoilers.
No
If
spoilers.
anybody at the very, I don't know if anybody's seen season two, but I'm just gonna ask you this. I can't believe I'm saying this. Do you think she's dead or alive at the very end before they start?
Hmm. I mean, I know the answer, but I'm not going to say it because we've seen the show. I've seen it, but I would say based on if you're not there yet, you know, I would just say that from the previous people that went out and just the like this feeling that you get when people there's something else going
Well,
on. Like
I think I
I
don't know if
don't.
we're on the same page. I know she came back
Oh,
to
okay,
this.
okay, okay. I know. I thought you meant when she
No, no,
initially
no.
went
I
out.
know she came
Oh,
back to the silo,
yes, yes.
but at the at the very end of the season two, that's why I was asking. Do you think she's alive, or do you think?
I mean, I certainly hope so because she's like the main character, and I really like her.
No
I love
spoilers there,
her.
but I'm sorry, but
I know, spoiler, right? But I mean, I think so. I'm gonna go out and say I don't
Yeah.
know, but yeah, exactly, no spoilers because I don't really
It's a
know.
good
But
show.
I
It's a
think
good
so,
show.
and I
But do
don't
you
think there's.
think you and I could survive like that in real life in a silo?
Oh my God, I don't know. I think humans are very resilient. You know, you have no choice. I mean, if you're able to, it depends on the kind of person you are. I always think for me though, like I know humans as a whole, we're resilient. You can, you can do it. But for me personally, I would probably be like the first one to die because I'm not resourceful in that way. Like I would be like, how do I get food? How do I do this to get clean drinking? And people that know that go camping, that are, naturalists, they know about these things. I don't. We're so spoiled in modern society that I would struggle to really come up with ideas on how to feed myself and drink. And, I
You
probably would
never.
just be like,
I have to ask you this. If you never gone camping,
no, I mean, I've been RVing and then outside we've had like a little camp out and that kind of, that's as
but
close
not
as
like
I've
a
gotten to,
tent,
not like a tent, not like
are
outside,
you
like,
willing to try a tent?
I I I mean never say never because my kids recently started telling me we want to go camping and I'm like, can we like try glamping, like somewhere in the middle? Like whatever. We'll meet halfway, 'cause I have to start baby steps, I'm not much with like outdoors and you're like, so I would try it. I never say never. It could end up being like one of the most amazing experiences of my life. So you just don't really want to say no, but it's not my first choice if I choose a vacation. Oh, sorry, the bell's ringing.
No, you're okay. Not first your choice. Well, Silo they have running water, but I mean it's a good show. I got confused because I was like,
Yeah.
what's this show about? Why are they in the
Yeah,
silo? And then I was like, oh, you can't go outside. And I was like, oh, okay. But anyway,
yeah,
no,
it was very interesting at the beginning. You're trying to figure out what is going on out there, and then you're
yeah,
like, oh,
oh
that's what's
yeah.
happening.
And then
Yeah, it's like, wow.
you're not supposed to say, I want to go outside.
Yeah, exactly. You can't
First,
say that.
I was like, "What's wrong with that?"
Yeah,
And then I'm like, "Oh, okay, I got it. I got it."
yeah, that was interesting. I was like, what's going on with this? Why?
That'd be scary in real life if that was
Like
happening to us.
very. I don't even want to think about that. I'm like,
I would
oh
never
no,
leave the room. I'd just stay right
that,
there.
yeah, me too. I agree.
Oh, Martin,
Yeah, sorry.
I can't wait for more upcoming projects you're gonna do.
Thank you. Me too. I can't wait. Right now, I'm more, like I said, because of my situation where I'm home with the kids and I'm
Hmm.
comfortable in that spot where I'm just focusing more on social media ads because they're so popular right now that I can't keep up with the demand. And it's gotten to the point now, which I'm very grateful that people have seen videos and they're emailing me saying, we saw you doing this. Can you do this for us? And I'm just like, yes, of course, So
That's how I found you.
yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes. See, I'm glad. I'm sorry. My door keeps ringing and I don't, it's the condo where I live in. So it's very noisy.
Oh no, it's okay. Well, I appreciate you. Like I said, I that's how I found you, and I appreciate you coming on.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
I can't wait to have you back on and talk to you again.
Anytime that you want me, I would be more than
And
happy to.
probably your
And I
kids are
apologize for the
bothering.
noises. So,
Your kids are probably bothering. I can see your hands.
yes, that was me telling my diva acting daughter. She's like, oh, she's screaming coming out. I told her, please stay quiet. Dad. Papa has an interview to do, and she was
I
very
see,
good. I have to
I
give
see
it to
your
her.
hand moving. I see your hand
Yeah.
moving.
You see, this is my dad, like my.
Don't worry. I know what that means because when you were little, your parents were like, hold on. Hold on." I'm like, what? Oh, sorry, you're on the phone. Sorry.
Yeah, this is my multitasking moment. I'm just like trying to like, and that's kind of like the thing that what you just about social media ads. It's good because you are home, but it's also bad. There's always good and a bad to everything because when I have to tell them, hey, go to your room and I need you to be quiet for like 30 minutes, Papa has to work. And they've gotten better, it's gotten better throughout the months where they're totally quiet.
Right.
So, and of course, if I have the chance to participate with them, it makes it all that much easier because they can be loud. We're all filming together.
Right.
And so that works even better, So I try to do as much
100%.
of the.
Well, I totally agree with you. Well, Martin, thank you very much for coming on. And
Oh, thank you.
I look forward to chatting with you again soon. And thank you for following me on Instagram.
Yes, like anytime. I'm so happy to meet you and be on. I appreciate it. So I hope we can talk again soon.
Yes, we'll stay in touch. I'll talk to you
Yes.
soon.
Yes, thank
All
you.
right.
Have a good
Bye
night.
bye.
Bye. Thank you.